All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. And if you're just joining us, you're watching TV47 Breakfast. I want us to shift gears now and talk matters business. We were talking about tech on the previous conversation, and we just want to see AI in business. How do we use AI in business? How do we tap into this, another gold rush? Because we were talking about a gold rush on our previous conversation with John. And right now, joining me in studio is Daniel Kiriungi. Is the CEO of SwitchLink Africa. This is a fintech, digital payments, and AI-driven innovation. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
I feel like I'm losing my voice, but karibu tena.
You're welcome.
Let's start from that point. As a fintech, talk to us about SwitchLink Africa as a fintech. What is that about?
Fantastic. So this word fintech is usually used across. It's usually thrown out there as a, should I say, a buzzword?
Yes.
But basically, it's a very simple thing. When we talk fin, the first part of fin means finance.
Yes.
Tech is technology. So you are in fintech if you deliver financial services through technology. Then you are in fintech. Then the question that comes is, which part of financial services do you do? So if you are in lending and you're doing it via tech, you are in fintech. If you're in cross-border payments and you're doing it via tech, you are in fintech. If you are in, for example, insurance, which is also a financial services function, and you're doing it via technology, you're also in fintech. Although now in insurance, we tend to also brag a bit and call it insurtech. But basically, it's all about a matter of using technology to distribute, to offer, to deliver financial services to people. And basically, financial services are usually based 5 in nature, that is savings, credit, investments, payments, and insurance.
So which part of financial services do you offer as a SwitchLink Africa?
Excellent question. So SwitchLink Africa is actually a part of a bigger group. And our group is called Anvil Shield Holding Group. Under the group, we have got Gao Credit, which is a lending company. We have Lucent Insurance, which is, of course, an insurance company. We have got Upesi Money Transfer, which enables people to send money across the world. We have got the Tracking Hub Limited. It also helps people to track assets. And we now are SwitchLink. Therefore, what we do at SwitchLink is much more than just sending money to each other, because we take advantage of the ecosystem that we are operating on to package all those solutions into one and deliver it into a platform where we usually call it about payments plus. So when we ask what then does SwitchLink do, we actually do payments, but on top of the payments, we give you much more based on what we have within the group. So you could be borrowing a loan through us. Maybe you're a small business and you want to expand your business or to get some working capital. You will get it through us if you're using our solution to get paid or to pay out. You could be an employer and you're using our solution to pay salaries. Your staff can actually now access their salaries earlier than before the month is over through salary advance solutions. You could also be an individual, or you could be working for a company that is using SwitchLink to make payments. You may also now be able to get things like a mobile phone and pay for it mdogo mdogo. We are actually very proud of some of the solutions that are being impactful in the world, where we are enabling people to access insurance, medical insurance, and they're able to pay for it, I would say, mdogo mdogo. One of the biggest crises we're having right now with people, I know majority are always in a WhatsApp group of a kind, is people are fundraising for medical. So we are saying we can enable you to actually transfer that risk to the people who should do it, who are the underwriters, the insurance companies. And through us now, because of the power of the group that we are in, you are able to access insurance and you are able to pay for it mdogo mdogo. Maybe majority of the people have not had that being done before, especially for medical. But now here we are saying we have the technology, we are a fintech, we have the tech and the capacity to actually solve some of those fundamental problems in the society.
You mentioned something quite interesting that I'd love for you to expound on, that based on the advantage of the ecosystem that you're working on or with, what is this ecosystem and how does it look like?
Excellent. So our ecosystem is our founders and our shareholders put together many companies that do several factors in the financial space. And the thing is, they are usually registered as different companies because of also regulation. Because if you are in lending, you are regulated by central bank. If you are in money transfer, you are regulated by central bank. If you are in investment, you are regulated by the CMA and so on. So when you now bring those companies together and you put them in a platform where customers can access them as one, now that becomes an ecosystem. Or you are saying, the customer really doesn't care. Nobody wakes up in the morning saying, hey, today I'm feeling energetic, I want to take a loan. No, they usually take a loan to fulfill a certain problem. And therefore they really don't care how you package it, because when they take a loan, they are also looking for insurance, they are also looking for something else. Put it into one platform, let them access it, they are happy, win-win. And even you as a business, you are able to generate much more revenue from one single customer, because you don't need to hop from one shop to the other. So we are no longer looking at delivering these solutions as just giving a loan or giving insurance. We are talking of, can I be able to protect you as an individual, your life, your health, your family? That is what the customer is looking for. Now, how we deliver it now ourselves is that because of all these functions that we have in the group, we package it together and deliver it to you, and hence the word ecosystem. It's just a matter of that we can be able to package all these solutions together as one and give it to you in one package and stress-free, I would say.
So how many fintechs do we have in Kenya? And because I know globally we do have some that are quite recognizable. But I'm trying to see if this is quite a competitive field in the country. How many do we have?
Ever heard of competition? This is cutthroat. We have got, I would say, hundreds, if not thousands, of fintechs in Kenya. But of course, they are the big ones. As it were, M-Pesa itself is a fintech. M-Pesa is offering financial services in technology. That's through the mobile phone. It's also a fintech. Maybe that would be the biggest known fintech in Kenya, and not only in Kenya, even in the world. But we have got very many others that are in the space. And the question that you usually ask yourself as a fintech is, what gap have I seen that others are not fulfilling that I can easily fulfill and make the customer happier, better? For example, now, like for us at SwitchLink, we have identified that customers are jumping all over looking for all these solutions, and we are saying we can actually go for a philosophy called Payments Plus, take all these solutions that customers need, put them in one platform and give them to you. Others will say, for me, I want to compete on price. So customers are complaining it's expensive to send money, so I will go for a fintech that enables people to send money free. Others may say, for me, I will be focusing on people who don't have a smartphone. I will take USSD and deliver the financial services via USSD, the *1 something. Others will say, okay, my job, my fintech is going to enable people to access some very superior products. For example, it has now become very popular in Kenya for people to buy things like money market fund via mobile. You can also specialize on that and say, my job will be quality for this type of niche of clientele and go for it. So there are so many fintechs. Some are very specialized, some are very well known, others are doing great things in their own small niche markets. But I would say I could be wrong, but they could be in their thousands.
And that was taking me now to the question of what is setting you apart in a competitive field. I know you're talking about how you're trying to make it easier for people to, borrow and for you to also lend. How are you doing that exactly? What is setting you apart from other fintechs which are also doing quite well and are quite recognizable? Yeah,
good. So just on a lighter note, they say, if you really focus a lot on what competition is doing, and doing it, you'll always be number two. Because is a thief of joy. You'll always be waiting for them to do, then you copy, therefore you'll always be number two. So we have chosen deliberately, strategically to focus on the customer themselves and ask, who is this mother who has a kid who is unwell? They have got some kind of a medical cover from their employers, but this cannot be enough because of the condition or the health care the kid requires. How do I enable that mother to enable the kid accesses insurance? I now package two things. I package medical insurance and I package some form of lending, put them into one, and give to that lady ability to take your child to hospital anytime you need it, and you are able to pay for it per month, and it's deducted directly from your salary, for example. Now I'm focusing on the need of the customer. We are now in an era where young people are earning through just a mobile phone. But for you to do that, you require a nice quality mobile phone. But how many can afford a 50,000 plus kind of a phone? So we say, okay, take this phone, dear young person, you have been blessed by God with a lot of talent, go out there and do your exploit, just pay us within, as you are earning money, you also pay back. So they could be paid monthly, they could be paid weekly, they could be paid daily. So again, that's now a matter of focusing on the customer need and solving it. We look at school fees. Every parent wakes up every day saying, I want to take my child to the best school possible. But the school requires their school fees upfront in the, January or when the term opens, but you are paid per month. Or maybe you are a business person, you earn your money per day. I will facilitate for you to pay that school fees, and we will collect from you based on how often you get paid. That is now what we're talking of. We tie the need you have, enable you to pay within your cash flow cycle. So if you get paid daily, we are happy to work with you. If you get paid per month, we are happy to work with you. So we enable the school to be happy, they have the cash flow, the parent can take their kid to school, and all this now comes together in solving actual problems. So I honestly don't spend a lot of time wondering what are the other competitors, the thousands of them. Imagine amount of time you need to actually go snooping, what are the other doing? Yeah. Vis-a-vis just focusing on who is my customer and what problem can I solve for them. Of course, definitely 10% of your time maybe you'll be looking at what is the industry doing. But I have learned over the years that it pays much more to really focus on this person who pays our salaries, and that is the customer.
Your customer is people who pay your salary.
Definitely.
So you're talking about you're working with the cash flow, how the cash is flowing, right? Whether it's daily, whether it's monthly, that is how you decide to, we are going to take back our money that we gave you for you to pay school fees, for you to get this medical care. But then what's the catch with this? Because I'm thinking about when you're working with my cash cycle, it gets into my account, but then I have another problem that I need to cater to, right? So if money gets into my account, say for example, yes, my child is sick, I have another one who is going to school. I took money from you guys to pay school fees, and I have this other one who still needs to go to the hospital. Then money comes in and then you cut it, right? So where's the catch with this? Because I'm trying to think about it this way. How about that money just sits there in my account and then I pay it at my own convenience? Yeah. Can it work? What's the catch with this?
Excellent. I love your questions are getting brilliant as we go on. I think the levels are upping. Now, that's actually a very wonderful question, because it's a question of how are you structuring in a way that the customer feels comfortable, but the people who have also taken risk to enable you do business get comfortable. And I'll give you an actual example of a project we are running down in Gikoba with a fish market business, where a supplier of fish is asking, I have got these people who want to buy fish every day, but I have a problem because I want to enable them to take the fish and pay me at the end of the day. So we facilitate them collecting that fish from that big supplier, and once they collect, we now collect from this supplier per day. But not even per day, we collect per transaction. But based on what you are asking, what we now do is that we take, for every shilling that comes into your account, we are sharing. So like for example, 70-30. So if someone have paid you 1,000 shillings, 700 shillings will go towards your account. It's available for you. And 300 shillings will go towards repayment of the loan. So it's a win-win. So we are not taking everything from you. So you are still able to buy the munga, you are still able to take fare to work, But again, you're also reducing your debt and that making sure that you're actually facilitating your loan. So it's a win-win from where we sit, and I'm liking that the people we are facilitating to do that actually liking it a lot.
People who've taken this to enable you guys do business, who are these people? Those
are, I would say, the shareholders. So this is how our business works. Some people will wake up and say there is a problem in the market and we need to solve it. For you to solve market, you require capital. So you usually go to a bank and take a loan, or go to your friends and fundraise. So the shareholders are actually one of the most significant people we have in the whole world, because they take a risk. They are not even sure that this money will come back, but they say, for the sake of the world, I'll put in my money, I'll take a loan, I will go and borrow, or I will, maybe it's your own savings, and then you put it into a business, hoping it comes back. That is a shareholder, that's an investor, that's a capital owner. They are doing that for the purpose of solving that problem so that they can get a return. And that means then they are the ones now that are taking a risk. They will only get their money back when the customer feels that what they are offering is good enough and they pay for it. So if you think about it, then it has to start with someone standing up and saying, I think this problem is big enough to be solved. I'm going to put in my capital. I'm going to take a risk in it. And then the customer is happy. When there is that two alignment between the capital taker, the risk taker and the customer, then it becomes a sustainable business, because the cycle now keeps circulating back and back. Think of the biggest businesses we have in Kenya, for example, Equity Bank. It started by saying, what is the problem in the banking? Took a risk. And it changed it. The same with M-Pesa. They said, what is the biggest problem you're facing in the market? Investors took a risk, solved it, it pays back. So it's usually a very wonderful time where the people who have taken a risk, the customers agrees with them, and that partnership, that collaboration of a kind where capital meets the problem and they align well, it becomes a wonderful thing.
So what is the difference between fintech and traditional banks? Because if you're doing the same thing, quite literally, you see that people can be paid salaries through
banks,
through your fintech, and also through banks, right? And banks also lend. Banks also do a lot of things that you're doing as fintech. So what is the difference?
Yeah, that question reminds me of a certain joke we tell in the fintech world, where all banks are dreaming to become fintechs, while all fintechs are dreaming to become banks.
Oh, wow.
And my thinking around that is usually around, it should not be about banks versus fintechs or fintechs versus banks. It should actually be a collaboration. And I will explain. Banks are very good. They have got, I think, I don't know how a world would survive without banks. Because what they do is that they usually consolidate the so-called capital I was talking about and enables businesses to access it to solve problems. But banks are very good in the risk management. They are good in raising capital. They are regulated heavily. So when you take your money to a bank, you know it's safe, and so on and so forth. What they may not be good at, and it's not their core business, is the technology aspect of it. Therefore, they need to work with people who now specialize in technology to enable the delivery of these solutions. So again, no business solves all the problems. So a bank may be good at solving, like you want a mortgage, you will get it. And a mortgage is something you go and negotiate for long. You require to buy a big piece of land, or you're a business and require a very big ticket. Those are big problems that can only be solved by banks, as it were. But now the small issues that are more of consumerism, the day-to-day, are much easier solved through a technology like a mobile phone, a technology like USSD, *123, and you get whatever you want. And the people who do that much better are actually the people in technology, the people who can write a code, the people who can develop a mobile app. So you allow them now to thrive in that, and then they ride on the bank because of its ability to do risk management, its ability to provide capital. So in fact, the financial services space works very well when commercial banks or even investment banks and all actually works in collaboration with fintechs, not in silos. When the two comes together and say, there is a big problem here, let's solve it together, they actually win much, much bigger than when they are actually in competition. And in fact, even banks themselves, there are some banks in the world, or in Kenya specifically, that actually own their own fintechs. Like they have literally realized, okay, we may not be able to mix all these problems. This is our bank, this is our fintech. Let them focus on the world of the fintech. And it literally pays off very well.
So as it stands, there's a little bit of competition between independent fintechs and banks.
You could say so, because they are going for the same customer. However, when you think deeper, there might be no way a fintech could ever succeed without a bank. Because, for example, you don't have the license to hold deposits. You may not even have enough deposits to lend. So you still have to go back to a bank and enter into a form of either sponsorship or collaboration for you to succeed. So even though you may talk of competition, it's really in the bigger scale of things should be more of collaboration. Because again, the bank, based on their scale and the size, they may not be able to go to the very down person that may require sometimes very specialized kind of tweaking of a mobile app here and so on, because they are solving minimal bigger problems. So in fact, my dream world is where banks will now no longer, we will be seeing banks coming together and, for example, funding these big infrastructure projects like SGR and so on, and then they may now leave the small things like salary advances now to small players like microfinances, where we now be able to say, okay, the bigger problems can be solved by the bigger ticket sizes of the banks. And then they support the fintechs to solve those small, I would call small problems, because all these things have to be solved almost simultaneously. There is no way one day we'll say, let's post the small access to Unga and all and solve the roads, or let's post the roads and now solve this. So if you realize that those things have to be solved simultaneously, it's like a hardware-software kind of a conversation, then it makes sense to actually enable these players to work together, where the big one solves the big problems and they enable the small ones to solve the small problems.
Talk to us how you're using AI in business and as a fintech. What are you using it for, and how are you tapping into this gold rush? Because this is a gold rush. Everyone is running towards AI. So how are you using it in your business?
Excellent. So I love having conversation around AI because, again, we get a lot of confusion and we get lost in the terminologies and so on, and actually become all confused. There is a certain meme or a cartoon that goes around saying, how many CEOs want AI in their business? They all raise up their hands, all of them. How many CEOs know what the AI does? None of them. So we are all running to AI, but clearly, fundamentally, we are not sure why then should we have it in the first place. And I like grounding the AI conversation on one simple thing, or what we'll say, what is the why? Every single business, big or small, that wakes up in the morning and opens their doors to business, they do that chasing one number, and that number is called the bottom line. Bottom line is the profit loss number at the bottom of a P&L, the profit and loss the tabulation. So it is, you increase the amount of revenues you're running, try to maintain into a sustainable level the costs, so that when you talk of revenue minus costs, then you get the bottom line. And it's when the bottom line is sustainable, that business becomes sustainable. So when you now think of AI, always ask yourself as a business person, AI is technology. It is supposed to come and help us chase that number, the bottom line, and make it better. So where you are seated as a business leader, the question you should always ask is, am I using AI to, for example, increase my revenue? Am I using my AI to reduce or to sustainably optimize my costs? Then you can now start asking the right question. But don't chase AI just because the other business, like I was saying, has AI, or you have heard in a forum, oh, everybody in fintech now is using AI, and you go into it without knowing the what or the why and the how you shall do it, you will end up actually losing money, because you may also need to invest in tech. So what are we doing it for? When it comes to revenue, the question is, how do I get AI to help me onboard customers faster? How do I use AI to give me better insights on what my customers want? What do I use my AI to help me reach more customers? Now, when you come to the middle line, it's about of how do I use AI to for example, process faster for my customers. If it's a loan disbursement, it's done faster. How do I use AI to, for example, grow faster without increasing the costs? How do I use AI to protect fraud? That's usually a big thing for us in fintech. How do I use AI to also make sure that my customers' data is safe? So the what you use AI for will actually there is a lot of use cases. So when you ask the technology team to develop for you the agents that you require for the business, you have to really give them how shall success look like once all this has been done.
When you talk about how do you use AI, how do I use AI, especially to ensure that my customers' data is safe? And really and truly, sometimes there is a gray line as to how data is stored in AI. Who has this data? How does it get the information that it gets? And who is able to access it? Then how do you now use AI to ensure that your customers' data is safe? Artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
How do you use it?
Good question. So without going into jargons and all, let me start by saying AI is almost like a very sharp knife. If you're a man or a woman in a kitchen with a sharp knife, you can use that knife to really prepare a wonderful meal for your family. Some people can also use that same knife to harm other people. So the question is, when AI lands on your hands, is it landing there for you to use it for good or to use it for bad? You can literally use AI to improve your systems to make sure that nobody can penetrate and, for example, steal your customer information. Yet there is someone else who is waking up every morning working very hard to use the same AI to penetrate into that data. So when it comes to the how, it is about now how you configure your systems. It's a matter of how now you deploy the systems to actually detect any type of that penetration. Remember, even before AI, we still have the systems that protects the customer's information. And you are able to actually set up triggers that would tell you, oh, we have got an unwanted someone who have penetrated our system. It triggers and gives you that information. But now when you now deploy AI, instead of having an actual person who can actually, for example, doze or, have gone away for a break. Remember, AI works 24/7, never gets tired, it's not moody, it's not angry. So you can actually now say, my customer's data is protected 24/7 without any margin of an error, for example, quote unquote. Once you have trained it enough, it will actually do a much better and much more efficient job than a human being like me and you. So you actually deploy the technology based on what you want, the achievement you want. But remember, AI have to be trained. You have to actually, first of all, put in the work. So it's not a matter of just deploying AI and then it's done. You have to monitor it. You have to keep tweaking. You have to keep training these agents on what need to be done. And the more you train them, the more you give them access to the data, the more you fashion them into whichever way you want, the better they become. And definitely then, the safer your customer data becomes.
So how do we use it as well to protect fraud, or to protect customers against fraud, and to protect your business against fraud?
Excellent. So every time you ask that question, you should always ask, okay, then how does fraud happen in the first place? The first place that fraud happens is the wrong customers. I don't even think they are called customers. We talk of customers is always right, but we forget to define the customer. Anybody who comes into your ecosystem, into your system, into your business, and they are coming in to harm, in my world, that's not a customer, that's a fraudster. So the first thing you need to do is to ensure that you can use AI to actually make sure you are only allowing the right customers to come in. So, for example, now in a regulated environment, there is the requirement that you require to know your customer. It's usually called the KYC, know your customer. You have to collect the documents needed. You have got to make sure that they are the right people, they are not impersonating. You have to make sure that they are the right age, for example, because there is regulation requires that you can only do business with a person of the right age. All those things are things that you can do manually. You can have people seated, people are coming with the forms and writing down. But now you can deploy this technology to actually have it done automatically. So first thing is, are you using AI to make sure you are onboarding the right customers? Now, when that customer is in, you are actually following them and saying, this customer came and said that they usually earn 50,000 Kenya shillings. Therefore, you can literally, once you tell me that data point of how much do you earn or how much do you collect as a business, I'm technically able to know, to predict with accuracy the type of activity I can expect in your account. Then I can set my systems in what we call the transaction monitoring to make sure that the transactions happening in your account are within that framework. So AI can literally quickly detect any deviation from that norm. So if suddenly you said you collect 100,000 Kenya shillings per day as a business, and suddenly we have realized that we are seeing trickling in of millions of Kenya shillings, where are they coming from? AI will trigger that and protect you and now have someone question. Or we are seeing suddenly, we know you usually said maybe 2-3 transactions every week. Suddenly it's 3 a.m. and your account is now running out tens of thousands shillings after every 2 seconds. Again, that's an anomaly. No better system can track that than AI. So that's now the use of transaction monitoring to predict the behavior we expect of a human being who is literally doing it themselves vis-a-vis one whose account, for example, has been hacked. And then you can therefore stop it before it is too much. If you think of the human being, maybe we will come and realize it happened the following day when the account have already been swiped clean and, but now when it's AI, remember it will never go to sleep. So you can really protect customers' funds. You can protect the customer data anytime because you have deployed the right technology. So I'm actually very excited about how we can continue learning the possibilities of AI and make sure that the customers' funds are much more protected. Because as businesses, we spend a lot of resources trying to protect fraud. A lot of money that could be used to go to better solutions, maybe reduce the cost for customer borrowing, maybe even give interest-free kind of loans, all the resources that could be going towards bettering services for customers, a lot of them are deployed in protection of that money. And this is because every day there are people trying to do fraud. I'm really challenging the people in technology to how do we ensure we can use the technology to significantly reduce the amount of money we need to spend on protection of fraud, because AI is doing it much better and more efficiently, and deploy that capital in building better products.
So when you also talk about using AI to grow your business, how exactly does a business which uses AI use it to grow their business? And I'm thinking about, is it about the posters? Is it about how they structure their communication? How exactly did they use AI? Because now we've talked about to protect businesses against fraud, and also, talk to us how it grows faster. Whatever I wrote, how customers data. We're talking about data and now fraud, and then how they use it to grow their businesses. Walk us through that.
So, amazing question. So let me go back to what I was saying. I like grounding this conversation on fundamentals. What are the things we monitor to know that the business is doing well? There are several metrics that you wake up in the morning and say, when you talk of how did we do yesterday, how did we do last month, how did we do last week, that question is pointing towards several things. A business will always look at, again, very simply put, it is looking at how much did we generate, how much did we spend in that generation, therefore, so that we go to how much was left for shareholders, for taxation, and all those people who are waiting for it. When we go to how much did we generate, my question would be, are you as a business person using AI, for example, to onboard customers much more faster and more efficiently? So for example, now, let's say you are running a business like selling, okay, let's say it's selling money because it's a space I'm in. And you want to be across the country giving people.
Selling money, you mean fintech, not wash?
Yeah, selling money, I'm talking of lending. You want to sell money, lending.
All right.
So you may choose to, for every customer that want to borrow from you, they need a conversation, they need to know you, you need to convince them, for example, answer question. So you may say, because I want to grow very quickly, I want to employ 10,000 people located across the country selling the loans, which is a good thing. But remember, it also comes, it is going to generate revenue, but it also comes with a very heavy cost at the middle because these people need to be paid salaries and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Another businessman wakes up and says, okay, I'm going to ask how can technology help me do what these 10,000 people can do? Maybe you only need 100 of them.
Yeah.
What that question fundamentally changes is how you may achieve the same results, but with a fraction of the cost. Or it could be, how do I use this technology to maybe earn 10, 20 times more without changing the cost I'm using to do it? So when I ask a business person how they are using AI, and the question is about how to increase the revenue, it's about the number of customers, it's a matter of how many more products is this same customer buying from you, product per customer. It's a matter of how many of these customers are you now making so happy because you are so efficient, such that they're even telling others about you. That is referral. If you actually measure those three things, now, number of customers that are actually getting into your business, that means more business coming in. Now you also measure the number of customers buying more from you, or a customer buying more products. It could be buying more of the same or buying more products. Or plus customers that are actually helping you to onboard more customers. Remember, you have to employ someone to sell. But here your customers are now so happy with you because of your efficiency and maybe the value you are bringing that they are actually the ones selling for you. So how then do I use technology to enhance those metrics? When you come to the cost, you're now looking at how am I efficient? So there's a number that we usually look at called the productivity ratio. It's a matter of out of the money we are making, vis-a-vis the amount of money you are spending, for example, in salaries and all, what is the productivity ratio? Like how much is one staff able to generate much more than they were before? So remove from them the headache of doing unnecessary work that can be done by an agent, an AI agent, so that they can concentrate on the business that only a human being can do. So let them be there for the customer, engaging the customers better, and the things of paperwork, the things of maybe doing Excel work and so on, they spend so much time, they become so much fatigued in doing that. You want to use technology to let off that work from them so that they focus on the core business of serving our king, who is the customer. Because it's out of making the customer happy that we are tapping at the source, and that it's like that fountain continues pouring more resources into your business through the revenue, then you are happier. So it is, I know most people expect that you now start talking tech, you start talking of where are you using ChatGPT or Cloudy or whatever. But fundamentally at the level of the business leader, you need to actually start asking the right question of what shall success look like? How shall I know that we are actually using this technology in the better way? And those are the measures that you can always look at. And ultimately, if you fix revenue and then you fix cost, the bottom line, the profit is, of course, assured.
Is this for each and every business, AI? Or are there businesses that, should be using AI, and there are businesses that, when it comes to AI, they should just slow down and say, no, this is not for me?
Fantastic question. Again, let's go back. Is there any business that is not chasing revenue? Is there any business that does not want to optimize its costs? So a very good example, and you had mentioned, is AI for doing flyers. And that's where we actually go wrong as businesses, where we are looking at it as just doing the bare minimum, like doing a flyer, which is actually a very fundamental use case, where you are saying, initially I had to spend maybe 10,000 shillings every month to have someone design flyers for me. Now I can do that in minutes by just keying in the right information. But remember, it's called artificial intelligence. So we have to start by the intelligence. It's usually this thing we call the garbage in, garbage out. So you have first of all to make sure that you are giving it the right information for it to give you the right outcome. So is there any business in the world that cannot use the AI? I don't think so. Any business should be focusing on how do I use the technology to actually make sure I'm getting better in what I do. We are saying that the AI is not going to take away people's jobs. AI shall take people's jobs. I mean, it's going to take away jobs of people who are not using AI. And I'll give an example of, there is this thing we are talking of, there are those jobs that will never be replaced by AI. Tell me, how can AI replace a plumber? Definitely AI will not come and fix the pipe. But the plumber who embraces AI, uses it to better themselves, use it to market themselves better, will fundamentally replace this plumber who thought AI is not useful to them. Maybe the AI may not become an electrician, she may never come and change the bulb. But the electrician who actually embraces technology and says, how can I use this thing to reach more customers? How can I use this thing maybe to reduce my cost? How can I use this thing to research on the upcoming technologies in this whole industry I'm in? That person will get a much more competitive advantage over that electrician who is not using it. So my answer is very simple. AI is for everybody. Everybody who wants to increase their revenue, they need to research on how can AI work better for my industry. AI is for people who want to optimize their cost. Please research on, in the industry you are in, how can it actually do better. If you're in marketing, just make sure that your customers want to buy, to have more customers buying from them. It is not a matter of social media for the likes. It's actually translating the likes into revenue. So as a marketer, my question to you would be, how are you making my business better? And then when I challenge you with that question, go and use the AI to make yourself better, more efficient, such that you are going to beat the other guy in marketing who you are competing with, who is not actually using it. Everybody, even in the media, should actually embrace AI. I think in the media it's even much better. You have a bigger opportunity in using it.
All right. And, I was actually looking to see, because you mentioned something about, AI is not here to take your job. If you're a plumber, you should be using it to do your research, how you can, better your business and yourself. And I'm thinking, myself, right? How about I use AI to find out how I can fix what this plumber could come and fix, so that I can fix it myself. So that way I'm taking their job. Either way.
Very good argument. There is very quickly a story that is told of a certain plane somewhere that was a presidential jet. It couldn't switch on. And he called all the engineers, they tried to fix it, and it became a big problem. Then they knew someone somewhere from another country who could do it. They flew him in, and in a matter of 10 minutes, he had fixed it. And then he sent them the bill, and the bill was in the millions of dollars. And they asked, but you just came here for 10 minutes, did 1, 2, 3, and now you are charging us $10 million. And then they are like, I'm charging you that, not for the doing, but at least for knowing where to do what to touch. I may be very good in researching and seeing how to fix the bulb, but there will be fundamentally the technical aspects of whatever job someone does that not everybody will ever do. It's right now, you know, you may think it's very easy to fly a plane through AI, you know. It might even be more accurate. But nobody will ever allow you to fly a plane before you become a pilot. And getting to be a pilot will require you to invest in becoming one. Actually, AI is going to actually maybe predict better in the medical world and so on. But I am waiting to see who will be very ready to get into a surgery room, and it's only the AI that's operating on you. There will still be required someone. So again, going back, the question will be, the people who will win will be those who actually embrace AI and use it to make themselves better, more profitable, or let me use the right word, the competitive advantage. You just make sure that you are more competitive. The minute things will actually be taken away by AI, but there will be the fundamental ones that will still need you to apply your intelligence. It's an artificial intelligence. And the only creature that God gave intelligence is human beings. So we will still be necessary to continue growing. But can I also say, the world is full of possibilities. There is so much we don't know today. There is so much coming that will require us to keep thinking. So if what you do can easily be replaced by AI, it is time to engage the high gear of thinking much, much more. What are the possibilities within this? Maybe before M-Pesa, nobody knew that we could be sent money instantly in the village and all. We have to go to posta and so on. But someone thought and kept thinking and iterating and trying and trying and trying. That's what I would challenge everybody who feel that like their field is challenged or they is threatened, to not give up, but now to engage the higher gear of thinking. And I'm telling you, the human brain is so superb in thinking. We don't even know what's about to come.
All right. Speak to us about opportunities that are there for SMEs when we're looking at the use of AI, and what are they still missing? Excellent.
So every time I'm asked that question, I usually remember Steve Jobs. I watched his clip. I could challenge guys to go and look for it. He was 28 years, and he was giving, it was a whole hall full of people, and he was explaining to them about coming of computers. Oh, the computers are coming. They are going to change your lives in this way. And people are so curious. They were asking very hard questions. Today, do you really think there is anybody who does, okay, well, maybe, but I would say an average 80, 20, 90% of the population now either know a computer or they actually get served through it, and nobody even thinks about it anymore. The coming of the internet brought what we call the digitization revolution. I will even go back. Today, any business you think about, there is no CEO or any business owner who would ever come and say, okay, as a business, our competitive advantage is that we use electricity. Yet several years ago, okay, not say many years ago, electricity was a new phenomenon. But right now, even a small kid, when they enter into a room and it's dark, they know they need to switch it on. It's no longer a competitive advantage to have electricity. Very soon, the way we are now trying to explain to people what's AI, it will not, nobody will require you to explain. It will be so much part of our lives that we will not even think about it. So as an SME, my challenge to you would be, early enough when it is still a competitive advantage, before AI becomes our usual electricity, before AI becomes our usual computers. And I remember in the year 2000, we were so afraid that the turn of 1999 to 2000 is going to shut everything down. It didn't happen. So all these technology usually come and revolutionizes things, and actually it generates more possibilities. So as an SME, my question would be to you, what are you doing today? What business are you in? And put your mind to thinking. Go, like everybody now have access to internet, research on how can AI make my business better. By the way, it could be as simple as, I'm now putting it on the very basic level. Go to ChatGPT, which is the basic one. enter what you do as a business. Maybe I make hair, or I'm a beautician, or I help people better in nails, or whatever business you do. Go and have a conversation with the GPT. This is what I do every day. This is how much I charge. This is how much my costs are. Just put it as a prompt there. Just see what happens. The more you have those conversations, the more you are going to actually see possibilities. And the good thing is now with the internet, it is going to go and search across the world, places you can never be, and see maybe what are similar SMEs doing in the US? What are similar SMEs doing in China? What are similar SMEs doing wherever? That gives you a competitive advantage, because as other people maybe are flying to China, it is going to bring to your phone, to your laptop or your phone, videos, use cases of businesses that will never visit in China, but they have been brought to your hands and now makes you better. That becomes your competitive advantage.
All right. I think that is a very wonderful parting shot as we close this conversation. 1 hour has run by so quick.
Yes,
I know. But just to give you 1 minute, looking ahead now, what is Kenya that has successfully integrated AI into its business look like? And how do we now measure whether AI has worked for this particular business? As we wind up in 1 minute.
Good. So how will that be? It will be a much more efficient business. Maybe the customers are getting served better. Customers are getting served faster. Maybe you're even reducing pricing. Maybe it may not be the fundamental thing you do, but you're able to actually reduce that price, and people buy more from you because you are now managing your costs better. But let me add with this thing. In all this hullabaloo, there is a lesson I learned from Jeff Bezos. He says, there is so much that will change, but that we don't know. Technology is going to change a lot of things. Then maybe what we need to focus on are the things that will never change. What are the things that will never change? Customers will always things that are cheaper. They want to save more money. Customer will always want their services delivered faster. And customers will always want better, more quality. So my challenge to us people in business is, how can AI make my products cheaper? Because the customers, that need for customer will never change. How can I use AI to deliver my services or my goods faster and beat everybody else in it? Or how can I use AI to improve the quality of the stuff I give customers? It could be quality of the service, it could be quality of the goods. If you are able to answer, those three things will never change. Customers will want that way. So it is now a fundamental question of how now you use the technology to actually answer those three things. It's not really the technology for the sake of it. It is technology for what it literally does to the business. And successful businesses actually mean successful society.
All right. Thank you so much, Daniel Kiriungi, for making time for us to have this conversation. It has been very insightful and very interesting. I said the same about the previous conversation, but that is true. I don't say lies. Daniel is the CEO of SwitchLink Africa. SwitchLink is a fintech, digital payments, and an AI-driven innovation. I hope now you know what fintech is. And with regard to, SwitchLink Africa, and thank you so much for walking us through that. That brings us to the end of this segment and to the end of the show this morning. Thank you so much for keeping us company all the way from 6 a.m. up until now, 10 a.m. Don't go too far. You're watching TV47. Keep it right here, and I'll see you later at 1 p.m. Good morning.